Mr. Otway here, and this is a guide to purpose questions on the Gcse History Impact of War on Britain paper. There's a couple of things that you should do for all GCSE history questions, so you want to get into the habit as soon as possible. Firstly, look at your work. Is it separated into paragraphs? Have you made use of paragraphs so you can show the examiner how great your answer is? If not, one of your targets should be use paragraphs. The other thing you should always do is refer to evidence. In this case, it means quoting the source or picking features out from the source and using your own knowledge. Here's the question that I asked you to answer for homework. What was the purpose of this representation? Purpose being the key word here. All in all, there are 3 things that you need to do for a question like this. Those 3 things are as follows. What did the person who made this want others to do or think? So in this case, they clearly want people to join the army. What features of the source help you to know this? Well, I've already underlined one, and you could also write about how they've used the threat of zeppelins to convince men, to maybe make them feel a bit like they're not doing their duty by not going off to go and face the bullets and by waiting at home for the zeppelins to get you. So I'd be probably picking out the zeppelin, the join the army, and perhaps this phrase, it's far better to face the bullets. And then down the bottom, we've got why did the person who made this feel the need to make it at that particular time. So from your lessons, what you should know is that Zeppelin raids were a big problem in England, in Britain, certainly at the start of the war, and that the army was struggling to fill the spaces left by men who had been killed in the war, and that the British army, if you're really on the ball, was quite small at the start of the war, so they needed more troops. If you're going to do point number 3, the best phrase to use is my old favourite, history tells us, which we'll come to in a bit. Now here is an excellent answer. Not a perfect answer, but an excellent answer, because they've gone through the 3 steps. So you can see here, the purpose of the poster is to make men join the army. That is the point of it. Then they go on to talk about what features of the source help them to know this. Join the army at once, the poster wanted men to feel guilty, she's guilty, and she goes on to, down here, use the phrase, it's far better to face the bullets. So she's explaining what the poster does to make men feel guilty. And then they've used my absolute favourite phrase down here. History tells us that hundreds of people were killed every day in the army, therefore Britain would need more people to fight, so the government made this poster and many more like it to persuade British men at the home front. Perhaps with your teacher, you could consider what else this person could have done to make their answer absolutely perfect, because there are definitely still targets here, but it is an excellent answer. Now that you've seen the examples and my explanation, we're going to pause this screen and you're going to use the possible targets here to try to think of some targets for yourself. Then you're going to use the purple pen of progress to show that you've understood and to make the adjustments necessary to get a better answer.